unexplainable.
Never need a match. It's unexplainable. It's unconditional. It's unforgettable. Unstoppable. And that's so intentional. It's so invitable. Indescribable.
Hello, and welcome to His
and Her Perspective.
And here at His and Her Perspective, what do we do, Vaun?
Here at His and Her Perspective, we find common ground to harmonize relationships.
That is exactly what we do. And we do that by having conversations like we're going to have today, because today we're going to talk about sexually unfulfilled. Now what? What do you do when you are in a relationship, a marriage that is not fulfilling you in the sex bedroom? What do you do? We're going to talk about that. So if you are looking at us right now, make sure that first of all, you say hi to us so that we can say hi back to you. And then go ahead, do a watch party, share it. I'm not sure if you're able to do a watch party, but if you're not, invite some people, go ahead and share it. And then, invite as many people as you possibly can, because this is going to be an on fire conversation. I'm super excited about this, brother. What about you?
Me too. Been looking forward to this one all week.
I know we have been pushing this out all week long, because last week we had part 1 of this, and today we're going to have part 2. So this is going to be great. If you were here last week, you know that it was great, and it's going to be even greater today. So I'm excited. Brother, how you doing today?
I'm solid. You look nice.
Well, do you as well, sir. You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I feel really good today.
Good. It shows. You got a nice little glow about you, like the Last Dragon kind of, Say hello to my lovely wife. Hey, darling.
Hey, Desi. Hey, sister. How are you doing? Good to see you over there. So listen, y'all, this is going to be great. Let's get back to this banner. Okay, first of all, we always talk about the couples that are winning. So let's get into that really quickly and talk about that.
Yes. All right. So this couple is Mr. and Mrs. Eddie and Chandrika Houston. I met them, when did I meet them? In 2011, I think. So I've known them now for about 10 years. They were my next door neighbors when I first moved to Savannah.
Wow, cool.
I really like to see, when we met them, they had just one child, and now they have 2 children. So they have 2 boys. And, one thing that I admire about them is the way they work together. And it almost sounds repetitive, because every couple that I highlight, every couple that I nominate each week, I nominate them for some very similar reasons. Yeah. And but at the end of the day, it's all genuine, And Eddie and Chandrika, that brother, he works. I wouldn't see him very much at all. And there were times where she'd be like, Mr. Vaun, can you, or she'd go to my wife, can Mr. Vaun help me with my car or whatever? So, but she had his back like no other. And he was grinding for the family. And so it's a testament to how good things can flow when the synergy is on point, and when you have 2 couples that are willing to work together to make it work. So now they live out west. I think they're in Texas now, Houston. Okay. And so shout out to Eddie and Chandrika Houston for this couple spotlight, making Black love great again. We appreciate y'all, family.
That is awesome. They look great together too. They're a good looking couple. Yeah. So, and to your testament about, saying the same thing, it just gives what those success things look like. It tells people that this is how you become successful in your relationship or your marriage. So that's why it looks like it's the same thing. It just tells you that this is what success looks like, and this is how you get it. And so all of these couples are showing and perpetuating that. That's really good.
Good point.
Yeah, good stuff. I love it. So let's talk about what's in the news. So listen, I don't know if y'all heard, but Jeezy done got married.
What? Jeezy got a wife?
Jeezy got locked down. He got married to Jeannie Mai or Janine Mai, Jeannie Mai over at The Real. Remember, you know that show?
Mm-hmm.
And so congratulations to them. But, let me get a little bit messy because that ain't why I'm talking about them. So back in 2017, Mai told the people on The Real, where she had 2 Black co-hosts, right, that Black men are attractive, but she needed a white man in her life. She said, and I quote, "I loved Black guys, but for me, dark men on the side. White keeps me mean and lean." Okay, but you just married a Black man after you had a white man that divorced you and took most of your money.
So make for me, please.
Huh?
Make that make sense for me, please.
Make that make sense, because if you just said that the white man keeps you mean and lean, now you know what, she was right about that, because the white man did keep her lean because he took her money.
And lean.
And lean, kept her lean and mean. She is absolutely right, because she was married to that white man who took half of her money.
Wow.
What? Go ahead.
She's, I'm just looking at this part where she said Black guys on the side or dark meat on the side. So that's kind of like, I guess, the fun part of things for her, maybe. And maybe even a little bit of, so she's Asian, right?
Right.
And I know that in large regard, relationships with Black people is taboo.
Yeah.
It's a no-no.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like maybe there's a little bit of fetish. How do you say it?
Fetish. Yeah. Yeah.
Fetishization.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
fantasy going on.
Yeah, a little fetish.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so I don't know that can make a marriage. I mean, that sounds like it might make for, some hot sex, but as far as marriage, I guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah. I'm telling you. So it just really tripped me out. And I wonder what he has to say about that. Because again, one of the questions that I thought about, well, 2 of the questions I thought about was, because I wrote them down, because I wanted to make sure, I'm getting old. Okay. Do you think that her comment made him want to challenge what she said to change her mind? Or do you think that he doesn't care what she said? I want to know what y'all say, family, too. What you say about that, brother?
I'm not even certain that he's aware of the comment. I would imagine that he is, but I can't make certain. But I will say this. I think that this might sting a little bit, but so many Black people are so in love with the idea of being able to escape Blackness.
Ooh.
That maybe it didn't matter as much to him because she was willing to show him some love. I don't know.
That's good. That's a good perspective. I like that.
And here's an example of that. And I hear it all the time. I mean, either the guy, I've heard many guys say things like they want a red bone. They fantasize over red bone. They fetish red bones.
Yeah.
So, and for those of you who don't know, a red bone is a light-skinned Black person. Right?
Well, it's a difference between light skin and red bone.
Right.
Red bone has, maybe light eyes, usually like the green, the hazel eyes. That's where you get a red bone. And
there's a little bit, it's almost like a little bit of a red tint.
Yes, to their skin. Yep.
They're super, like they're damn near white.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And so what to me, I don't know how you love a tree or how you love fruit without the tree that bore it, right? And so the tree that bore the experience that we're calling red bone.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I look back a few decades, there was a lot of rape going on.
Yeah.
That production, the forced production of this light-skinned buffer class red bone people. Now, I don't have nothing to say negative against light-skinned Black people or red bone, because you're not responsible for how you got here.
Right.
But what I am saying, though, is that when you make that a prerequisite for, or when you make your romantic involvement or your romantic desires contingent upon how light somebody's skin is, then you're showing a really you show a contempt for self.
I was going to even say, are you okaying what happened and get them there?
Yeah, that part too.
Wow. Listen, y'all, this is going to be really good.
How does that apply? How does that apply to Jeezy and Jeannie Mai? So it's not what's the word I'm looking for here? It's widely known that many in the Asian culture look down on Black people.
Black people. Yeah.
And her statement is a testament to that fact, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it is it's no secret that a lot of Black people would love nothing more than to be with somebody other than Black people.
Yeah.
So
and it goes to what you just said about it being, what was the last statement that you made about him and his own esteem?
Yeah. And it to me is just a testament. It sounds like a cocktail of maybe a little bit of self-hatred going on, a little self-loathing and fetishizing. I don't even know how to say the word, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, because most women look for a man like their dad if they have their dad in their life, and most men look for a woman like their mother if they have their mother in their life, or they end up with that even if the person wasn't there. You kind of track that type of person. So when you go completely out, it makes people question. Because people questioned me when I was married to a white man. People were like, they were like, "What are you doing?" Because right before that, I was like, "Power to the people, Black power." That's who I was. I was like, Afro Michelamonè is, hey, we power to the people. So they were like, "You did what? You lost your mind? Are you okay? What's wrong with you?" So yeah. Yes, I get it. But
welcome back.
Love to be back because it ain't nothing like a Black man. Okay, enough of that. Because let's move this on now. Let's get on into this show because this is going to be a good one. I love it. If you're looking at us, tell us hello because we got quite a few people on here, and we only have a couple of people like Sierra. Love this. We've got Shalon who's sighing about the whole Jeezy, but she says hello, everyone, and she said that she doesn't think that it matters to him, which it probably doesn't. So listen, I want to get into. I have to do statistics, right?
All right.
I got some statistics. Y'all ready for this? Y'all let us know if you're ready. Type yes in the box if you're ready, because we really want to make sure that you're ready. Let me move this out so I can get us bigger on the screen so I can see it. Okay. Hey, Danielle. How you doing? Hey, Karen. How you doing? Thank you very much for joining us. Listen, 63% of millennials, 69% of Gen Xers, 75% of baby boomers, those are high numbers, right? High numbers are not having what was in the article, noteworthy sex, i.e. good sex, good loving is bad.
Bad.
63% of millennials, 69% of Gen Xers, and 75% of baby boomers are not having good sex, man.
Wow. Well, what do you attribute that to? Family, what do you attribute whack sex?
Oh, let me get this off. Get that off. Sorry about that, y'all.
Let me ask this question too. Is it too soon to ask this question?
No, go ahead, ask the question, because we need to know in order for us to determine why these statistics are so high. We have to know what sexual unfulfillment means. So go ahead, ask the question.
Well, let me let this first question breathe a little bit first. So you already asked this question. You put the stats out there. So I'm asking, family, what do you attribute all this whack sex to? What is the reason for all this less than stellar sexual encounter? Robert
says, you must have adult conversations about your sexual preferences and even your fantasies during the courtship stage. You have to let a man know, did you want to be flipped? Or you have to let a man know, start at the toes first and work your way up.
All right.
Got to let him know. Hey, Laura, how you doing?
communication is the key, is what he's saying. All
That's
right.
what he's saying. Ayana says that I can't believe it because my generation, these dudes don't. She said they don't last more than 5 minutes, thinking that they're high-valued men.
Now, ooh, man, I'm glad you said that. I'll come back to that. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that one. All right.
Let me put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that. Okay. Yeah. So Robert says, again, in my opinion, most people don't know their body. And again, no adult conversation about sex. If you talk about sex to most people, it makes them uncomfortable. Okay. I don't understand the part about, was it sex? You must be text talking because it's about sex. Okay. So what do you think of those things? We got lack of communication from Danielle. Yep, got that. Yep. Women not being open and honest, which is communication. What's your thoughts, brother?
Well, I mean, man, that's a big one. Communication is always key, right? I think that's on point. Somebody mentioned, what she say? Ayana said 5 minutes, thinking they're high value men. Yes. Let me throw this in there. First of all, high value men. There are a lot of. There's a thought in the high value man community that how good he performs or how much he might underperform sexually is completely irrelevant to him being a high value man, because high value is much more about, this is the thought in that circle now, right? I'm not saying
that's crazy. Okay.
I'm not saying a cosign, but what I'm saying is they think or they promote the idea that what he brings to the table is much more important than what he does when he gets to the table.
So his money is his money buying the pool boy?
Watch your mouth. Now watch your mouth. Now look.
Because what is money?
It's the lifestyle that you're supposed to be. So it this idea that you get a chance to live a lifestyle that most women can only fantasize about. And with that, you have to also take some of these shortcomings, which might be lack of sexual prowess. What do you think about that? Is that worth it to you? Would that be, family, ladies, and coach, would that be worth it to you if you had, let's say Jeff Bezos was a 5 minute man, the guy who owns, that's the guy that owns Amazon, right? So if the owner of Amazon, and let's make him black. Let's say Denzel Washington. Y'all ladies love Denzel, right? And he can provide this so-called high-value lifestyle. This man has $100 million. But let's just say he's a 5 minute brother, a 2-pump chump. Let's say he's only got, 3 inches. Would you stand by? Would you stand by his side? Or if the sex is whack, do you fall back?
You always made me talking tongue on that one.
Come on now.
Sex is whack. Would you fall back? Now let me say this.
Be real.
Because me as a woman, I am visual, and I think I know Ayana is, because we talk about that when we on these shows. Ayana being very visual. I know Danielle is visual too. I am a very, very visual woman. If he looks like Denzel, right? And he couldn't do it right, I would just have to try to teach him to do some other stuff.
You trying to change him.
You're right.
You trying to change him.
Look, I would be trying to change him because that's what your money ain't enough. Real talk. You can
listen now. I ain't asking you what you can do, what kind of magic you can create. I'm saying this man works 80 plus hours a week. Boy, tired. And when he get home, all he got for you is 5 minutes, 5 pumps, whichever come first. Right? So I'm saying, the question comes back to, how do you handle that? If it's whack, do you fall back, or do you say, hey, you know what? I get these new bags every week. My kids get to go to private school of my choice. I get to live where I want to live how most people can't. Is that lifestyle worth the trade-off? That's what I'm asking. That's the question, ladies.
I'm too old to have kids, so all I'm going to be doing is having sex and working. So no, not for me at this age. Now, I couldn't tell you that it wouldn't have happened if I was in my 20s. Now, if I was in my 20s, I might have signed up for that. But not at 50.
So you got to have that magic.
Got to have the magic. You got to be putting it down.
Look, listen. I had a client.
Okay.
And she told me, Karen says, I agree with Coach M. If he is teachable, we can work it out. All right.
Absolutely, we can work that thing out. But if he gonna, I am Tarzan, you don't tell me what to do. Hey, no, we ain't working nothing out. Bye, and you ain't your money. As a matter of fact, give me half of your money because you wasted my time.
Ayana said, I ain't that visual.
Right.
Danielle said, if it's 5 minutes, make it the best 5 minutes of my life. Now, see, that's a real answer. That's real.
A real answer.
Did she get them new Birkin bags every week? Get them red bottoms?
Because you know what? Those 5 strokes could be them real good 5 strokes. You get them real good deep ones.
All right. So,
let's see what some people up here, because they talking.
Yeah.
Ayana said, no, it's not worth it. She said, right. I can see it all in your face. Agreed. Let's also be real. Most women ain't going past 10.
Who said that? Let's also be real. Most women ain't going past 10 minutes. All right. Let's turn it up. Let's go.
I said, nah, bye. I'm refilling it all day. Listen, Jeff got $177 billion. I don't care. Because guess what? If I'm spending 177, once I spend all the money and I get everything I want, then what? Then I'm still going with my man there, rubbing and touching on me, making love to me, doing those types of things. His 77, and again, unless we paying for the pool boy. We paying for the pool boy, and that's the arrangement. Y'all know I would.
So wait a minute.
Minister wouldn't do that. I'm just saying.
So hold on. I want to make sure I understand the question that's on the table here. Ladies, are you saying to me that if the sex is whack, but you tolerating it because he's papered up, that you should be entitled to have side piece, a pool boy, a jump off? Is that the message I'm getting?
In my 20s, I would have said that.
Okay.
I'm not okay. Let me get this straight, because I do have to apologize. I hope if First Lady is on here, I apologize after Twitter. Let me know you're here and I'll go through that.
First Lady ain't got them problems. We ain't got to worry about that.
No. I'm saying that because of something that's happened last week, but I want to be clear, because I want to make sure that, yes, I'm joking and saying that if that's the pool boy, I don't condone having a side piece. So I want y'all to be clear. Don't y'all think that I'm talking about get a side piece. That's not what I'm saying. I'm being funny, but I'm saying that if that money cannot compensate for the affection, the love, the tenderness that woman that I would need.
Hold on now. Time out. Just because a man show up with 2 inches and 2 minutes don't mean that he can't still provide a loving touch and affection and all that other soft stuff that you're talking about. I'm saying he can still, warm embrace it. Look, y'all ladies always talk about how much you love big teddy bear hugs and, and snuggling and the spooning, and you can still get all this love and affection without the strong erection, right? No? I'm just asking. I don't know.
No, Vaun. It's only gonna work for a little bit. What did Sierra just say up here? Sierra just said, where's she at? I just saw it. She said the money could hold me over for a little while, but ultimately I'll need some good loving. So no.
Now see, my wife said absolutely you can. See?
Where we at?
Desiree says, so just clarify, absolutely you can what, Desi? What are you saying? You could work it out.
Hold that 177 billion and then work it out. I don't know. If I loved him, now let's get serious a little bit. If I loved him, we're married, we're in this, and something happened later, then I would be like, man, we got to work through this. I wouldn't leave him because of that. But, well, that would be the only way I would be able to find out, because he ain't getting none until you get married. Okay. So if I think about myself back in the day when I was younger and I wasn't so, tied to my morals, and sex is important in the relationship. I was stumped in this. We was having this conversation before this. Would I leave my husband though?
Right. That's the question.
Would I leave my husband?
And this is an important question because, hold on, my wife just answered. First of all, grand evening, Garthian. Salute, bro.
Hello.
Ayana said Jeff Bezos' wife left him. Money isn't everything. Okay. And then my wife says, I wouldn't need the money, period. If we are married and in love, it can definitely be worked out. Boy,
right.
That's a soldier right there.
Come on now. That's why I love Desi. Laura says, but what if it started out that way now? And see, that's the thing.
So
I think personally, when you start out sex, the first time, if you have a first time blow your mind, y'all both over in the corner, toes like this, and y'all like, oh my God, that was the best thing ever, then you better hold on to that, right? Or you better hope that he wasn't thinking about, or she wasn't thinking about somebody else while y'all was doing it.
Yeah.
Because that typically doesn't happen. Typically what happens is people, they kind of follow, what they call when you trip over, they tripping over sex for the first time, maybe the second time, because they're trying to figure out each other's bodies.
Okay.
And so, you got to give it a little bit. Okay, let's get comfortable with each other. Let's figure this thing out. Maybe you don't know how I like to be touched because we haven't had this discussion like they talked about earlier. If you don't have this discussion, then do you know how to touch your partner? Because are you open to them guiding you while you're in the moment? And some people are not. Some people are afraid if I say baby to the left, to the right, up and down, then it's gonna ruin the mood. What are your thoughts about that?
Look, I think all that's important. I think, but now let's keep it a buck. Now, I think that divorce is higher. I think we have a higher divorce rate than all the other demographics, right? Black folk.
Yeah.
and they say that as much as 80% of the divorces are filed by women. Okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of that is due to what they perceive to be sexual incompetence, right? But I'm willing to bet that comprises, or that accounts for a good bit of it, right? We incompatible. I've heard different women say that they're incompatible. They just, don't fit, it don't work or whatever. And I think that sex or bad sex is probably at the root of a good bit of that. So to the point that I think it was Ayana just said, no, I wouldn't leave my husband. And even my wife said she wouldn't leave me if that were the case. Right. So I think that one major problem that we're having is that we can find a whole bunch of reasons to abandon our marriages, but really all we need is one reason to stay.
Yeah, that's it.
And so we're having too many excuses for ditching our families and leaving our children hanging, right? Let me throw this at you real quick. I had a client, and she told me that sex was a big part of what she needed in a man, right? So he had to at least have 7 inches, right? She said if he didn't at least have 7 inches, she couldn't go. Okay.
Where's she finding him at?
And this was my point. So I think I was reading some stats about this, and it said the average man is only about 5 inches. And I think that might even be pushing it. But they say the average man is only.
I was gonna give him 6.
I don't, man. Look, I've been in some of these locker rooms, and it's some, it's some.
And you'd be surprised, even dudes at 6.
I've heard stories, and I ain't seen a whole lot of erections in my life, and I don't need to. But the stats say that the average man is only about 5 inches long, and the average couple only has sex about 5 minutes, and the range is wide too. It's as little as 33 seconds and as much as 44 minutes. And the average ends up being somewhere around 5 minutes. So, and I'm willing to bet you that a whole lot of these couples are outside of the Black community. Now, for whatever reason, and I think a lot of it has to do with what we've been through in slavery. A lot of it has to do with the commercialization of Black folk and our sexual prowess. But we have married this idea that we're supposed to be sexual phenomenon, sexual supermen and sexual Wonder Women. And it's a fallacy, right?
Yeah.
But we're holding each other to standards that are not only unrealistic, but standards that will allow our families to disintegrate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and
see, this is the thing. This is the real talk of it. Because okay, y'all know I'm gonna go in the Bible a little bit. The whole thing, sex was never designed for a pleasure principle. It wasn't never designed for that. It was designed to procreate and to be fruitful and multiply. When the fall happened, that's when the pleasure of sex came into play. And so we have to understand that you're going to, when you have porn, when you have sex sales, when you have the entertainment industry that are heightening what sex is supposed to look like, when they put all these different videos together and they're making you look like, but you didn't realize that the video was only 3 minutes long. Right. And they didn't show the sex the whole 3 minutes, but you think that you're supposed to have that, what you just saw on the video in your bedroom when you come to bed with, torn t-shirt, whatever. Right. So we have to understand that we cannot, we have to see where this trickery and bamboozlement has happened from, because it's really taking a really big thing that's not supposed to be the design of marriage and making it that.
Well, and keep in mind too, anxiety will, for males, anxiety will likely make the performance even worse. Yeah. So if you have a man that falls in the range of 5 minutes, for instance, and he feels bad about that, like a woman can impact, which way that goes, right? So if she comes out of that scenario behaving like she's satisfied, then it's probably going to give him a sense of pride. Yeah. Right. But if she comes out of that scenario cussing, saying, man, you a chump or whatever else, then that's going to put even more pressure on him. And that 5 minutes might turn to 4.
Yeah, but most women, just like Ayana said, most women are not going to do that. They'll just fake it first. They'll fake it first before they let him know that, bruh, you ain't do too good. They'll fake it and then maybe try to talk to him. But if he's not receptive to making those changes or whatever, then, that's the whole thing. But I think that people really put, Robert Lee said earlier that if you in love, where is it? He said, sex starts in the mind. So basically, I'm sure he's probably saying if you're in love, then the sex would be good. And I would think personally, that if you love somebody, that you will, be able to work with them to see what you need, because every person is not the same. And I remember growing up in my 20s, I used to hear dudes say every hole was the same. That is so not true. Every woman is not the same. Every guy is not the same. It's not gonna be the same. So you have to find out what that person needs in order to make this good. And a lot of people don't want to have that conversation. Like, for real. If you reduce
your interaction with a woman to a hole, then maybe it is the same. Right? To that person.
Yeah.
But with where you're coming from, I feel where you're coming from though, because if you're more involved in the experience rather than just the end result, then yeah, it's gonna mean a little bit. It's gonna mean something more. You got a couple comments.
We got a lot. So Danielle said, I am not waiting to have no sex until marriage. I repent, but I'm not getting stuck with no BS. However, if this happens once married, then figure it out. That's what these more experienced people are for, to help you. Just ask and you shall receive. That's somewhere in the great book, I'm sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what Ayana says. Most women deal with poor sex. Sadly, they do. And the man, he roll over thinking he done did something because he done pumped 4 times. Really, dude, wake up, try again. But see, that's where you need to incorporate things like foreplay. And foreplay does not happen because you just walked into the room. If you want your woman to be on fire for you, making sure that she's ready, if you know that you're a 2-minute man, then you need to make sure that you tapping into her throughout the day, sending her sexual messages, sending her leaving little, send her some flowers, do something that's going to prime her. But let me say this too, ladies, because it's not just the woman that needs to be primed. Sometimes the woman is nagging, always in his ear. What he ain't doing will make him not want to have sex too.
Yeah. Look, once we get to the point where we hate the sound of your voice, that will kill an erection.
That's good. That's good.
My wife said, I think it's so disrespectful to fake enjoyment. No one is winning in that situation. That's a good word right there.
But it's a lot of women that do.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of them. I faked it before. It was sad, but I did it.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I had a friend that he told me he was looking for a wife, but she had to be super freaky. She had to be like real extra. Like he wanted to be able to spit in her mouth and he was bringing. Basically he wanted a woman that he could bring
porn to. Right.
Yeah, he wanted a porn star for a wife, basically. And I'm like, damn, how do you think if she comes to the relationship with that skill set, how do you think she got that?
She got it. Exactly.
And by default, I don't know, chances are pretty high that she's not wife material if she's showing up like that.
Right.
I'm not saying everybody. I'm not going to dismiss everybody. But I'm saying, come on, man. If she shows up and she can do all these, triple somersault dismounts and she
letting you spit in her mouth?
Man, he made my stomach. He made me spit up in my mouth when he said it. But
yeah, I mean, like, how would you respect? Because I mean, where is the honor that you would give to her if you can just do anything to her? Which is why there are certain men, I've met people who are saying they didn't want to even go down because they didn't feel like they respected their wives too much to even do that.
To go down on their wives?
Mm-hmm. They didn't want oral sex involved in the relationship because they felt like that was a porn thing.
Hey, do you, fam? I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta, yes, Shalon's like, yes, foreplay, yes, absolutely. She said, thanks, Vaun, for that nugget. Yeah, it's I think that people, so this is some of the things that people, types of unfulfilling relationships. People want something more. There's no desire at all. Lack of affection. They're selfish lovers. Let's talk about that. The selfish lover. The one that want to get his or want to get hers and ain't caring about yours, because I have heard this. Somebody said this to me in my day, that don't you supposed to get your own? Wow. Don't you supposed to get your own? What do you mean? When I was studying for this, all these things are coming in my mouth. I'm like, I remember that. Oh yeah, that dude,
But now think about this. Like he said, Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac did say that too. He sure did. I watched him a couple of weeks ago. He
stop all that damn hollering, busting out and go to sleep.
Right.
But look, now think about this. To the point that you made earlier, that sex is the primary reason for sex is procreation.
Right.
And then sexual enjoyment is a byproduct.
Right.
We are not supposed to be ending marriages or abandoning. In my mind, there are some people out here who are missing opportunities to have a really good, solid, strong foundation for building a family because the sex is only average or even mediocre.
And it's not even, it's less than 20% of your life.
And then on the other side, you have people who are having mind-blowing sex for a few weeks because the relationship is so toxic that, I had a young lady comment on my page last week. She said that the bummiest guys have the best sex. The bummiest guys have the best sex. Now, she said she was a witness, right? And I'm saying, all right, be that as it may. You really can't, if a guy is a bum, right, or a bummy guy, like what can you build?
Or what they call them, a scrub.
A scrub, like, and even some of these young ladies out here, they can do all kinds of tricks and flips and whatever else, but as far as wife material goes, man, you can never even let them meet your mother, let alone marry her. Right. So I'm saying that, again, this goes to the commercialization of our sexual prowess, the glamorization, or what's the word I'm looking at? How they promote as if we are endowed with all this supreme sexual prowess. And I think there is some truth to it. I think we do have there is something about us that makes it just a little bit better, I think. But I think that's more than just physical.
Yeah.
What we've gotten sidetracked with, though, is the physical part of it, so much so that our spiritual side, or the non-physical part of sex, suffers. And we're losing some very strong connections and some very solid foundations because the physical part is lacking.
Yeah. And look, this is good. What Robert says. They can stretch to allow something to go in or out, like a tampon, finger, penis, or baby. When you're not sexually aroused, your vagina is about 2 to 4 inches long or deep. When you're aroused, it can stretch to 4 to 8 inches.
Interesting.
So, I mean, I think that we need to not put so much pressure on parts of our lives that do not help make the decisions in our lives that are going to affect our lives long term. Like most people in their 70s and 80s, the majority of them are not having sex, right? So do you want somebody that can rub it up and flip it down, for the rest of your life, or maybe not, because something may happen? Or do you want somebody that's going to be there to nurture you, to love on you, to care for you when you're sick, to do those things and be by your side, to create memories that last longer than sex? And I think that a lot of times we don't look at that. We are looking at the superficial things of a relationship. Because again, so if you're thinking, if what did you say? Who said the average time of people having sex was 5 minutes? Somebody said that?
Yeah, it's about 5 minutes. So
5 minutes. And if you had it let's just go real out there. If you had it 7 days a week, 7 times 5 is what? 35 minutes. We talked about, didn't we calculate these minutes in this time last week? 35 minutes out the whole week, you're going to make a decision on your life?
Well, some people saying they need more than 35 minutes in a week. Some people, they think they need 35 minutes per session.
Most people ain't having 35 minutes per session, though. They're just not. It is real quick, especially now. In the beginning, you might get that little passion. But if y'all sick and tired of each other and y'all just trying to come together, it's a lot of things that's played like that. But you've got to learn how to be vulnerable enough to be able to, explore your body like that. But even with exploring your body like that, you're still not going to be exploring every single time. Sometimes it's going to be, hey, baby, let me bend over. You get that. Sometimes it'll be roll over, slide on in. Sometimes it'll be like, I'm about to jump on you and do this. Sometimes let's go. Let's go for as long as we can go because I'm feeling really good with you. So it's going to be different every single time, but do you base that entire act on your life? What if it went away? What if the woman dried up because now she's in menopause? What if the man is now having erectile dysfunction because he's taking high blood pressure pills? Do you shut down your relationship because the health of your partner is changing?
Right. And you know, look, people with the greatest sexual prowess probably on average are the ones who don't really have the most going on in life. You see,
Wow.
so and look, I'm theorizing because I only know so many people, right? But I'm saying people who I would venture to say that the people who, and this, of course, this is on the younger side of things, because by the time we get to be in our 40s and 50s, then, you know, most of us have had a healthier number of experiences, right? But many people in their late teens and even into their 20s, you probably shouldn't have but so many experiences anyway.
Right.
So we're meeting really good people. And because she isn't super experienced, super advanced, doesn't know how to do things that this 35-year-old woman or 45-year-old woman knows how to do, you're throwing away a good wife,
right,
for fun, or you're throwing away somebody who might be a really good husband because, you know, maybe he doesn't show up or stack up or measure up in ways that, you know, your porn star boyfriend before him did. And I'm saying this is hurting us, I think, in ways in a much higher proportion than this is impacting us disproportionately, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's shutting down our families. It's shutting down even babies being made. Just a lot of different things is happening with our families and the community. And this, even though, you know, we laugh and we joke about this, but this is really affecting us in the long run, right? Hey, Yarly, how you doing? Robert says the bum guy goes by complaints of most women, not affectionate. Oh, or he doesn't touch me. This man has time to perfect the craft because she has had practice with several women. Yeah, I think that let's talk about this. So how as a man, because many times women are, you know, maybe afraid or not. I don't know, ladies, I'm not speaking for everybody, but there's some women or even some men that may have a problem with being told what to do in the bedroom. What would be a suggestion that you would give to a woman in that situation? And then I can even give a suggestion to the men in that situation. What are your thoughts?
I would say don't tell a man what to do. Just tell him what you like. Okay. You see, because one thing about, well, I just speak for myself. I love making my wife happy. I love knowing that I had something to do with the outcome that left her with a smile on her face. Yeah. Right? So if she says, "Hey, I really like this," or "I really like that," and if it's within my means, I'm gonna do what I can to bring about that result.
Right. Yeah.
What say you?
Yeah, and that's the same thing I would say too, because I was watching this video on TikTok, and the guy was making this. Notice it's kind of not about sex, but it still goes into that. And the woman was videotaping her husband making the bed, and the words that she was putting, I'm just paraphrasing because I don't remember them all, but she says, "I told him how much it makes me feel good that when I come down that the bed is made." And now he gets up every single morning and he makes my bed, and he's been getting better and better at it. At first it was not as good, but now he's almost making it like I did. And so when you're sharing with your partner and you're saying, "Babe, man, last night was great. Oh, I remember the first time you ever touched me and you touched me here. I remember that. Oh, I mean, oh my God." You know, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. When you begin to let somebody know, especially with men, because they're fixers, they want to know it that way. And for a woman, making her known what she can do to please you is going to be extra, because she really wants to know. And you verbalizing that, not necessarily in, you know what, do this next time, because that might turn her off, but just saying, you know, I like it when you do this, or, you know, I noticed that you've never done this before. That would feel good if you tried that.
You got to keep in mind too that the male ego for most men is fragile.
Yeah.
Right. And so the moment he feels like you're telling him that he's not good enough or that he's doing it wrong, man,
all he hears is wrong.
You just went from 5 minutes to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying the power of persuasion, The woman has been gifted with that. And there are ways you catch more flies. What is it? You catch more flies with honey.
With honey, more bees with honey.
Yeah. So I say you can sweetly deliver a message that gives you the result that you're looking for. It's going to be more, but it's going to be more. You're going to gain more by like positive reinforcement.
Yes.
Somebody said, "Tell a man what you like," as opposed to, "Oh, that was me. He's just repeating me." But Danielle says, "I'm learning not to tell him anything, but to ask him to please me a certain way." Yeah. So, but again, keep in mind, I'm telling y'all,
hey, Jimmy, how you doing?
I'm telling y'all that the male ego is fragile.
Yeah.
Most of us are dealing with that, right? So the moment that you make him think that he's doing it wrong, as opposed to encouraging him in ways that you say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Like we say men lead all the time, right? We push this narrative that men lead. Low key though, a lot of y'all ladies are leading from the back.
Absolutely. A smart woman is all the time.
So one of the ways that women are leading from behind is through the power of suggestion. Mm-hmm. And you would be surprised what you can get from your man with a suggestion that is well-timed and well-placed.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's good. Because again, like I tell my clients all the time, never talk about what you need him to do in a moment that's high emotion. If y'all are already in the heated emotion, don't talk about all the things he didn't do or all the things you need him to do. You wait until you're having a great time, you're out and about, you're loving on each other. You're like, "Man, babe, that was just, I like it when you did this," or "I would love to see that," or something like that. But you cannot come to him and always talk about what he's doing wrong. That's going to always turn him off. Women tend to handle that a little bit longer than men do. Like she can hear certain things for a little bit longer than he hear. He heard the first time he about to be shut down. Not that it's right, because we don't want to hear we're doing wrong either, because that can tear at us. But I mean, like you just can't. So let me ask you this, Vaun. So what do you think is, as far as, and family, what do you all think as far as, getting a man to go to do sex therapy? Because there's some people, like we talked last week, who are just not getting what they need in the relationship. Yeah. And, so how do you get your partner to decide or to agree to go to therapy for sex?
Let me get this comment that Yarley said, because I think that's real important.
Which one?
He will hear you're doing it wrong, but in his mind, he's saying, "Who taught you this?"
Well, women think that way too. If he come in with something new.
I don't think women's egos are as fragile as men's are. And so to the point that he was making, there's some truth to that he will hear you're doing it wrong, but in his mind, he's saying, "Who taught you this?" So it's a slippery slope, and it shouldn't have to be this way, but you got to keep in mind that we're living in a society that is saturated with unhealthy thinking and unhealthy ideas when it comes to sex. And so a lot of men, there's trust is already very fragile. Mm-hmm. So if a man thinks that, if he feels threatened in any way, if he feels like in his mind, or if he feels like to you, he's falling short, coming up short, not measuring up to what your ideals are, it can break open a lot of insecurities.
And that can even go with you just moving his hand in a certain place, because it's just, if your man is not in a confident place and his self-esteem has been affected in any way, shape, or form, and he feel like he doing it, that's why a lot of women fake it.
Yeah. He said
that's why they fake it, because they're like, well, if I break him down here, he really gonna be broke.
Yep. And it's crazy because like you said, a lot of women are afraid to say anything for that very reason. They know what kind of man they have. Women know better than we do oftentimes that they're dealing with a fragile ego. And so what they're concerned about is how should they approach this thing? And since they don't know quite how to approach it, they would rather say nothing and then just fake the orgasm or grin and bear it and say nothing, as opposed to having a healthy conversation. But to the question that you just asked about therapy, first of all, if you're not having open and honest dialogue, the idea of approaching, the idea of even mentioning therapy, mentioning to him that he needs help, is going to shut him down. Like Yarly says, we shut down and we don't hear anything else. And so one of the things that you could do in this regard is not make it about him, or if you flip it, not make it about her, because again, women have egos too, and often they're very fragile too, right? Yeah. So what I would do in that scenario is I would make it about us, and I would say, we need help. Maybe we should see a therapist. Maybe there's something that we could do to improve our sex life, as opposed to saying, you need to XYZ.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Or even, I would even add to, like, I would tap into the improvement part. Babe, let's see what we can learn new. Let's see how, because I mean, I'm planning on being with you for the rest of my life. That's a lot of years. It's a lot of sex, a lot of days. Let's find out if we can find out something new, to be able to bring, and not bringing people, not that, or, but, maybe there's some ways that we can explore each other in a new way that we never knew about, and someone else could show us how to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ayana says that in some of these men nowadays don't care. Have you seen the memes that pretty much say, I don't care, I got mine? More so with these dudes that consider themselves high value. I've had the conversations. It's crazy. Yeah, we talked about that. It's because they feel like they bring in the money. Yeah. And your money is not going to stroke me.
Look, most men are not high value.
Yeah,
most men don't even qualify for that conversation. You're talking about maybe 10% of all of the men that you could possibly encounter. And so, I don't know, if you feel like it's that big of an issue, just avoid them altogether.
Yeah, because I mean, like, real talk, that we talking about men who are making $300,000 and up.
Well,
I don't know, but a couple of those.
It's really this category that has been going around, has been talked about lately. I think it's like right around 100,000, a little bit more than 100,000. So once you break
that's considered high value
in these circles. Yeah. So it's not just the money either. It's the money. It's the circle, the network. It's the notoriety. It's, different things like that. So it's not just the money.
It's not that hard to make $100,000 depending on what you're doing.
The average black man in this country makes about $45,000. So you may, on the one hand, I have no argument for you when you say it's not that hard to make $100,000. But on the other hand, the average black man makes about $45,000 a year, and the average white man is somewhere around $55,000 a year. Okay. So again, I think the average household income combined with a man and a woman is somewhere right around $100,000 a year.
Yeah, Ayana said these think that they are high value, and it's 100,000. Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing. I think the high value needs to come with standards, because if you're not respectful and you're disrespectful, and you think that you can be that way, and you got daughters, because many of these men have daughters and think that that's okay. It's kind of like I had a conversation with someone and how she was okay with her son treating a woman a certain kind of way. How do you be okay with that? Because myself, when I realized my son, when he was younger and he was doing something crazy, I got into that. But let me tell you how you won't treat a woman, not coming out of my body. And knowing what I've gone through. Same thing, with a woman. I mean, like a man, how do you allow yourself to sleep well at night? You have daughters, but you just think that you're going to mistreat somebody because you got the money?
Well, keep in mind now, we're in a society, but we're on a planet that promotes the undervaluing of women, the marginalizing of women. So it's not uncommon.
And I'm sorry, it says not uncommon. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's not uncommon to find men who don't concern themselves with whether or not their woman got off, and she better tolerate it, because if you find they're cheating, then in many cultures that's punishable by,
death,
death, physical.
cutting your head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yarley says a lot of women who fake it were actually not attracted to him in the first place.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. Not to the point to where she getting it off, right? Men and a lot of their ego want to be the man that you say turned you out or made you a freak. A man's ego makes him believe that only a man should be freaky. If a woman tells him something sexual or how to do something sexual, he wants to know. This leads men into that dumb question about a woman's body count. Yeah, but check this. What man is going to be able to tell you how to fill up a woman? This is why lesbian women are able to snatch straight women out of the crux of their man's hand, because she knows exactly what to do and how to touch her. And so if you think that you can just go in the locker room, talk to your boys, I'm not talking about professional like Vaun and you cannot get that. You got to get that from your woman. She has to be able to tell him what's going to make her feel good. And if he can't accept that, then your ego way too big and you got problems.
Yeah.
And Ayana says, absolutely. Look at Niecy Nash. Niecy Nash was married to a pastor. She was doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
That woman went all the way to this, but you know what? This is clear. How you can tell that it's what makes it. She's dealing with what she's getting the feeling from this person, because her wife looked like a dude. So she wants that, but she wasn't getting that.
And she still ain't getting it. Look, real rap. She's pretending that, I don't even know if I want to go here, but there's a whole lot of pretending going on in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're with somebody who's pretending to be a man, then you have to pretend that they're a man too.
Yeah.
And then you also have to pretend that you don't know that they're pretending. And then they have to pretend that they don't know that that they're pretending.
Like that they're pretending and they know it. Right. This is a lot.
And I know that you know that I know. It's that kind of thing. It's a lot of insanity.
It's a lot of inauthenticity. That's what that is. You are not dealing with the real person.
But look, Ayana said, oh, really, at Yarley's comment, I've only faked it with men I truly cared for. So there's that too. I think both of those statements, look, neither one of those are, mutually exclusive? Is that the right word to say here?
Yeah, because
you can do, there are women who will fake it because they truly care for a man. I can understand that. But then there are also, to the point that we made last week, I think, there was an elder sister that commented on one of my posts. She said that most women want are sexually attracted to the same small percentage of men, and that most women are with men that they really didn't want to be with, but rather that they settled for. What do you think?
Wow. You know what?
Boy.
I've never had that. Well, I've had that experience once. And even with having that experience once of my settlement, I still, once I began to get feelings for him, I still then became attracted to him. Okay. So everything that I would have felt prior to, the whole, meeting him was out the window. So I still, I was like, oh, I'd never date him. But then when I did, I was like, wow, I'm attracted to you. So I think that women in that instance aren't as, this is just me speaking. Let me give myself, because I don't want people to think I'm speaking for women, but I think that for me, I can get attracted to you. Yeah. If you stimulate my mind and we can have these great conversations and you can really, tap into my soul, then you now look like Denzel Washington. Bruh, you just looking like delicious donuts on the table.
My daughter calls it hands ugly.
Hands ugly.
Yeah, she said that. I'm gonna try to say that, ladies. If y'all in the if somebody in the feed knows what I'm talking about when I say hands ugly, let me know if I got this right. But she was saying that there are guys who are very unattractive, but if through time, maybe he appeals to her intellectual or emotional side, maybe makes her laugh, makes her feel good when he's around, and so on, that his ugly transforms into something much more appetizing.
Yeah, because this is the thing, the bonding glue, the oxytocin in the body does not just get stimulated by sexual intercourse. It gets stimulated with conversation. It gets stimulated when you're talking. I say this all the time. Women fall in love with what they hear, and men fall in love with what they see and feel. So if a woman is being stroked, that's how you have these women being catfished and never talked to these men, never seen them, never did FaceTiming, but they are the one. I'm getting married to him. I love catfish. I binged it and watched all the shows. And these women on here are delusional to think that y'all have been talking for 7 years via text or the phone, and now you're in love with this person. And really, how do you do that? Because she fell in love with what she heard.
Yeah.
Ayana says, I love looking at a pretty man, but typically date the men with true masculine features, and I fall for their personalities and becomes beautiful. What she said as I'm writing this, it does. That is a beautiful thing when somebody can touch your soul. You could get, and that's why I say sex is way better than that. You can have a relationship. I mean, that part is way better than the sex part. You can have a relationship that this person can touch you in your soul and never touch your body and make you orgasm.
Look, let me say this. I think that one of the advantages that my wife and I have is that we got married so young.
Yeah.
Now, most people that I knew, most people in my circle, they were not in favor of me and my wife getting married at 18, right? There was a lot we didn't know about life, about sex, about, just whatever. I mean, the list is long. But what it spared us is a lifetime of, or I should say decades worth, potentially, of different people that might scar our psyche and scar our love muscle, if you will.
Yeah.
Right. And so what we're finding now is that a lot of people who finally got it figured out in their 40s, 50s, and so on are now looking for love, but they're so rigid now.
Yeah.
And so inflexible because we're set in our ways.
Yeah.
That it becomes even more difficult to find love at this stage of our lives. Right.
Yeah.
So for that reason, for a lot of us, hell, it might even be too late to find that kind of thing that we're looking for. But at this stage, what I promote is if I was starting over right now, here I am, I'm 49 years old. If I was starting over today, I'm not looking for the beauty queen. I need somebody who's at least attractive to me, right? Yeah. So she can be what I would consider average, right? So for me, average, I don't know, somewhere what I would call maybe, well, hell, a 5 would be average, right? 5.5, 6. She doesn't have to be a beauty queen, but there needs to be I need to feel good when I'm around her.
Yeah.
I need to feel a sense of charge when I'm around her. Like, can she put that battery in my back?
Yeah.
I'm saying all that to say this. A lot of us as young men, we pass up on some really good connections because we still got wild oats to sow.
Right.
Right. And so later in our years, now we've accumulated a little bit of status, a little bit of wealth, right? Now we want a woman who wants us for us and don't want us for the things that we're showing her that we have. Like, that's not realistic, bro.
Yeah.
And a lot of the women are doing, something very similar where, they're going for the career. They're trying to become this boss chick, etc. Boss chicks die alone. Now, of course, what's that? A cheesy plug, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of sisters are waiting way too late, to the point where life has, thrown them a set of challenges, circumstances, and some hardening, that now it makes them much more challenging to be harmonious in the relationship with, right? Yeah. So I'm saying, if you have young people that are under the sound of your voice, under your tutelage, in your circle, that I would encourage them to get started younger if they find someone that they connect with. And don't put that off, because I'm telling you, there may be some advantages to putting it off, but I promise you that the overwhelming majority of those advantages are financial.
Yes.
But when it comes to establishing real connections, I think that your chances for establishing that happens at an earlier age, before all of the scarring takes place.
Right. And that's why the Bible wants you to be married and then have sex, so that you don't have this comparing to, right? Because what happens is you get into a relationship, and it's the very first moment that you're not getting the hot sex, your mind's gonna go back to the hot sex that you had. And that is what it does. So you're going to be like, oh man, it wasn't even like that. They ain't hit me like that, the other person did. But if you don't have that comparing thing in your psyche, in your system, in your blood, in your soul, you don't have that. So then,
men and women, right?
You said men and women.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You have each other to say, oh, okay, let's teach each other this. Let's learn this with each other. Let me show you how, or let me show you how. And then that ego kind of comes down a little bit, because, hey, I didn't know, right? So you got to know I didn't know. And since I didn't know, then we going to learn together. And that's where the beauty of that comes in at. And a lot of people are not paying attention to that.
If you only had one person to compare it to, then that 5 minutes would feel like probably the best 5 minutes of your week.
Of your life.
Even if you only did it 5 minutes one time a week, that 5 minutes, if you didn't have anything to compare that to, man, you'd be looking forward to that 5 minutes every Tuesday. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
But the problem is you let some dirty dude blow your back out, and now when
some dirty dude.
You let this dirty dude blow your back out. Now when the good guy comes along, you got nothing for him.
Got nothing for him. Got nothing. Now look, let's talk about how to fix some of this stuff, because I'm sure that some of these people are on here, maybe know somebody. If it ain't none of y'all, it ain't none of y'all, but y'all might know somebody that might need some of this help. So just in case, let's talk about that. Some of the ways, chime in what you think that I found, because I didn't come up with these things. They said that some of the ways on how to fix having your sexual unfulfillment is to make sure that you're unplugged, before maybe an hour or so before you decide that you want to start doing something. Stop looking at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and, just unplug, get in the mood, play some music, or, talk to your spouse or your partner to kind of get connected. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, it's just a way of decompressing, I guess, before you, I hear music playing right now. Hold on.
All right now.
Small incense too. Hold on.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's real though. You know what I mean? It's I think just time to disconnect from all of the distractions, because distractions, especially women, man, y'all know how y'all do. Men. Once I see my woman in the form that I like to see my woman, I get tunnel vision, and it really don't matter what the temperature in the room is. It don't matter if the laundry was done. It don't matter if it's clothes on the floor. Like, I don't care about none of that. All I care about is what you see. I know that women, you're thinking, man, I need to mail this out. I need to, y'all mind is all over the place.
Yeah.
And so to your point, I think that's really important, primarily for women, to just unplug, disconnect, decompress, and just try their best to get into the mood of what's happening, and not allow the distractions to take over.
Absolutely. And I add to that, this is something I tell personally my clients. Your bedroom is for sex and sleeping. If you're having issues, especially, but if you're not having issues, I don't think television should be in the bedroom. I don't think that you should be able to lay in the bed and watch TV. Go find you a recliner in your house somewhere and then watch TV there, because that's part of the unplugging. Because your psyche, your mind is okay. For instance, perfect example, and this is, I know this is completely off the thing. Some people don't use the bathroom without reading. They've set their minds that when I pick up this book, my body is now working for me to do what it needs to do. Your body sets itself when you walk into the room. It's trying to figure out, am I watching TV? Am I about to have sex? I'm about to go sleep. What am I about to do? So automatically your body begins to respond to that stimuli that it's been responding to all of this time. But if you walk into a room that you have now set the tone for, it's beautiful, it's comfortable, the lighting is not bright, it's kind of, dim, and ain't no TV in there, but there's music playing, your body gonna be like, what's up? What we doing? Yeah. This just is a part of how we're made and we're created. Your environment will set the tone for your body.
Muscle memory.
Absolutely. Another thing that's saying is step into reality. Understand that your children, your environment, your age, the timing, the busyness of life can affect your relationship in the sexual bedroom. So then you have to start to think about some of the things that, are happening in the life. Were we just talking about bills and we're stressed and we don't have the money because there's only one person working? Did a person just get a new job and they're stressed trying to figure out how to work the job and they need to come home and decompress? Are the children running around racket and you just can't get a moment in and they keep busting into your door? Are you older and you don't work as well? What are your thoughts?
I think that, yes, first of all, yes, I agree with that. But the last part, older and not working well, just because you get older doesn't mean that your body has to stop working as efficiently.
Right.
Most people don't understand the correlation between disease and nutrition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have to the point that Robert Lee made a couple comments ago. He said, for both men and women, stay sexy. Men, keep yourself groomed, smelling good, in shape. Ladies, keep that sexy on every now and then. And when you walk through the house, it can't always be sweatpants, t-shirt, and a ponytail. And I'm saying there are things that we can do to maintain ourselves along the way so that by the time we hit age 60, 70 even, and beyond,
we
still working. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I plan on being 80, 85 and still able to connect with my woman, you know what I mean? And vice versa. So, but that takes maintenance though. You can't be eating McDonald's 3-4 times a week, eating, Cheetos at 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, and you get the big beer belly and thinking that you're going to still be able to perform. I'll give the fellas one tip. Sugar is the enemy of testosterone, right? Sugar is the enemy of testosterone. So the higher your sugar intake, your testosterone is inversely proportional.
Yeah.
So, and I learned that the hard way. I mean, I was 24 years old looking at myself like, damn, what's going on?
Yeah.
And thinking that I could eat a Milky Way on the way home, about to see my wife like, ooh, I'm about to tear you up. And I get to the house and I'm like, I can't play.
Right.
And it took me some learning to realize that sugar is what will kill your erection.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of people don't pay attention to that. How much sugar are you eating? And you're trying to figure out why you only lasting 2-3 minutes.
You eating a honey bun or one of them big old sticky Cinnabons talking about I'm on my way, baby.
No, no, you're not. You're paused.
You're on your way to sleep is where you.
Let me tell you something. And I say this because I don't never want nobody to think that, I have parts of my business that's 100%, but I had the only client that I ever lost. She walked away because she felt like I was giving her too many assignments. And one of the assignments was because I deal with the Holy Spirit. I don't know my clients, the majority, probably 99% of my clients, I don't know, never met before. And the Holy Spirit has said to me, you are sleeping in flannel and plaid and pajamas. Your man wants you not to, and I promise you, they're sitting here and she's listening, and she's like this, and he looking like this. Like, did you tell her? And I said, you need to get rid of the pajamas and go. I said, husband, do know she about to go shopping. Give her that credit card, give her that money, give her about $200-$400 so she can go buy her some lingerie. And she was like, well, no, I don't need to buy any because I have a bin full of them. And he looked at her like, you got a bin full of lingerie I ain't never seen. They've been married for 8 years. You know, if you think that how do you think that you're going to have a bin full of lingerie, but you're wondering why your man won't touch you? You gotta understand why. Or, you know, he was like, well, you could just, you know, if you want to be warm on top, don't wear no panties. Let me be able to get easy access. Do something that's going to attract him, because men, they're not just, they're attracted that way. So gotta do something.
And you don't even look. If you ain't got $300-$400, I'm gonna use my best English. If you ain't got $300-$400, put on one of his t-shirts and no panties, and just let him think that it ain't nothing underneath that t-shirt.
Right. That's it. That's all you need, honey. So the next one talks about communication. We talked about that really heavily earlier today. The communicating your needs, being able to say that. And if you're not comfortable enough, if you're not vulnerable enough with your partner, where you feel that you can share with your partner your needs. I'm not talking about tearing him or her down in the ego, but being able to share how you need sex more than once a week and how it's really necessary for you. You want to feel connected. And this is how you ain't giving me none. I need sex 3 more times a week and you just need to get it together. No, baby, I really love being connected to you, and we make love. It just makes me feel like I'm one with you, and that makes me feel so good. You know, just different ways to say it, but you got to be able to communicate your needs. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, look, we said it at the top. Communication is the key. I don't think I need to expand on that. You hit it on the head.
Yeah. And so we talked about working out. Studies show that the sexier you feel in your skin, and they also said the tighter your skin is, that the sexier you feel. So working out is a good thing. And we talked about trusting who you're with. And lastly, have patience. Make sure that you understand that it's not going to happen overnight. If you just met or you just got married, or certain things are happening in the body and things are happening and you haven't talked about it, but you want to complain about it, you cannot hold your partner accountable for something that you have not had conversations with, that you have not had counseling for. That even the Bible says that if you have an ought with your brother, ought means complaint. Yep. Have an ought with your brother, you go to your brother. If your brother doesn't hear you, then you take somebody else with you. And then if your brother don't hear you from after that, then dust your feet off and walk away. But don't walk away from the marriage. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying try to figure out how you can bring this to your partner to be able to have the conversation or get some help to get it done. But you got to have patience in that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And the other part too, we put this emphasis on men being in shape, but it's imperative that women stay, keep it tight too.
Yeah.
There are a lot of sisters who let go. I mean, the average woman, particularly in our community, I think they say something like 80% of our women are obese.
Yeah. But they're talking about obese according to white women. So I don't like that.
Healthy is healthy.
But just because you're over 200 pounds doesn't mean you're not healthy.
Listen, if for your height, a woman should not be heavier than a man. So if a woman is 5'8", the average man is 5'10", 5'9". I think the average height for a man is right around 5'9", and the average weight is right around 170. So,
but see, again, that depends on how she's carrying. You got to keep in mind, we have breasts, we have butt, and we can be carrying. Like most people do not know that I weigh 175 pounds all day long, and I'm a 10. Listen, I look good.
I'm not saying you don't look good. What I'm telling you, we have our preferences for what we like.
Now let's talk about that, the preferences, because most men want the curve.
Listen, Linda. Listen. It is what it is. And we are a species in which the male is naturally larger than the female. Okay?
So you saying that if he, because
listen, the male is naturally larger than the female. So at a given height, the woman should not outweigh the male of her species. If a woman is 5'8", she should not be heavier than the average male of her species. Now, we have relaxed our standards to the point where, you know, we like what we like. I get it. We say what we say.
Relaxed standard? Because relaxing standards mean that you're settling.
Go back 25 years, 30 years ago when we were watching Soul Train.
Well, everybody was thin back when Soul Train was out.
I'm just saying that was back when we weren't eating nearly as much processed food as we eat today. We weren't eating fast food as much as we eat. We weren't eating junk food as much. We weren't drinking soda as much as so people were healthier then. Now we can make all kinds of rationalizations and justifications, but the human design still is what it is. And the male of the species is naturally larger than the female of our species. So if the average male at 5'9" is 170 pounds, let's say 175 pounds, then his feminine counterpart should not be larger than him. And if she is, she need to tighten up. And the same thing for the male. If you 5'9" and you weigh in 250 pounds, 220 pounds even, and you ain't dunking somebody's basketball or running somebody's football, you need to fall back, bruh. You lay off them treats.
Unless that's what you like.
Look, if you like,
and that's why I was saying with the whole standards, falling back on your standards, it's what you like. Because there's many thin men, the skinny men that they turn to the side, they disappear. Love the big women, boy.
We like what we like, but I'm saying that as a human standard, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of men who prefer their women smaller than they are. I think most men prefer their woman to be smaller than they are.
Yeah, I don't want a man that I'm bigger than, because I need him to hold me. I need him to,
Okay, well, there you go. You just said it.
But some women, only thing I was saying is, do we make this a standard, or we just let people decide what they want? Because when you make it a standard,
health is the standard.
Yes, health is the standard. You should be healthy enough to have great sex,
and the rest will work itself out. What is healthy? We could even say, even if we say, okay, those are white folk standards, right? So white folk standards, I'm putting that in quotes because I don't subscribe to that, but I'll play, right? So if we say white folk standards say that a woman who is 5'4" should weigh 120 pounds, right? That's what their standards might say. 5'4", she should be 120 pounds. Even if we gave room for Black folk being more muscular, thicker, more curvy, whatever, even if you threw in an extra 15, hell, maybe even 20 pounds, you would still only make her 140. Hell, 25 pounds, she would still only be 145 pounds.
But that's a lot. I'm 5'4". If I lost 30 more pounds, I would disappear.
I'm not judging you. I'm saying
you talking about the size.
The standard.
5'4". I'm 5'4", and I am 173 pounds. If I lost 30 more pounds, I would have nothing. I would have flat breast and no butt. I don't even got no butt already. Got a little bump. So you take my little bump away, and that's probably what my little 30 pounds at. So then I'm saying, if I'm that size, you just brought that size up, I'm 5'4". You take 30 pounds off of me, you're going to see nothing.
I love my woman at the weight that she is, right? Let me say this. Disclaimer. Love my wife where she is right now. She's only a little bit north of that so-called standard, right? When my wife was at that so-called standard, I had absolutely no problem with the size that she was. I wasn't looking at her like, damn, you too thin. None of that. supercharged,
That's
right?
too small.
And I'll even go so far as to say that when my wife and I when we married, my wife might have been 105 pounds.
Yeah, I've been there. Before I had my daughter, I was 105.
So, and you said what now? When what?
I was at 27. I was 105 pounds.
Okay.
But I was straight up and down.
Hold on. You said you had a daughter at that point in your life. So that means some man thought that you were attractive enough to procreate with you.
Oh, but hold on. Wait. No, And I got married 4 times and none of them their daddies.
So
don't do that with me, bruh.
The point is still the same. The point is still the same. It
had nothing to do with that.
The point is still the same, though. I'm saying if the standard, even if we say that that 120 is white folk weight, right?
But it is. We are talking about.
So how much more should a black woman or a black male weigh than their white counterparts? If we're going to say that 170 pounds is the standard for a white male at 5'9", then how much more should a black male weigh than that? I
don't want no skinny man. That's skinty.
Look, man, I was my most muscular at 185, and damn it, I say it myself, I was sexy. My wife loved it.
But how tall are you, Vaun?
I'm only 5'8", so I'm an inch shorter than what the average is, and the military told me I should be 169 pounds, I think it was, and I was 185.
You're 5'8".
I'm 5'8", and so
go back and check that.
5'8" all day, all 20 years in the military. When they do my height weight measurement,
they don't be measuring right. They told me I was 5'6" for years until I measured myself.
With socks on, from the floor to the top of my head, I was 5'8". So I'm saying they told me that I needed to be 169 pounds. I think it was. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And so I was always around 185, 190. And I had, and I was pretty much all muscle, right? I'm a little heavier than that now, but still, I was pretty much all muscle. And I'm saying, even if you give a black male 25 extra pounds, I mean, where do we draw the line where we say, okay, we black, so we should be a little thicker, a little heavier, a little curvier or whatever? Mm-hmm. How much heavier should a black person be than the so-called white standard? What? Give me a number.
I think that because we are more curvy and things of that sort, that at least maybe 15 pounds more.
Okay, well, there you go. So then if the white woman is 120 and that's her standard, 15 pounds more is only 135. But hell, throw in another 10 pounds and make it 145.
Yeah, I ain't getting down to no 145. I do 165. I was at optimum and I was tight.
Okay.
Had the Angela Bassett arms and everything.
And some of us, and that might have been real tight for you. Some of us are naturally thicker than others. I'm not arguing that. But even if you throw in an extra 20 pounds, that still only made you 165. That still only made you 165. You would still be smaller than the male, your masculine counterpart, is what I'm saying. But the average, what these stats are saying is that the average black woman is walking around larger than her.
Well, that's true. We know that the average black girl is probably 185, 200 right now.
Right. And even the men, our men are overweight too. And so this is
we know that this society, we are overweight in that society. We're just
watch this.
Very
watch this, brothers. I'm gonna throw y'all a little he said circular logic.
Yeah, and he up here, who you talking about me lose 30 pounds of that inflated ego?
Listen, watch this, brothers.
I'm down, bruh.
I'm gonna throw the brothers a bone. Watch this. Literally, I'm gonna throw the brothers a bone. For every 3 inches of belly fat that you lose, you regain. Now, this is presuming that the fatter you get, the smaller your erection is, right? So for every 3 inches of belly fat that you lose, you regain, I think it's a ½ inch of your penis length back. So
if you got a stomach.
So if you want better plumbing, brothers, if you want to be a deep diver, brothers, You know what I
Go
mean?
on and get that 6-pack going. Get it done. Get your summer belly.
Do some damn jumping jacks is what I'm saying.
This is good. This is real good. We've been on here for 95 minutes now. Y'all have been so good to us. We've been talking really good. Y'all been engaging. We're really excited about that. Thank you so much for you all tapping in and being with us for this long. This was good, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was good.
I think I'm gonna do a class for the brothers too, a health class. This is outside of relationship stuff. We got our relationship seminar coming up, but I think I'm gonna do something outside of that just for health. Not even just for the brothers, but for the sisters too.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. I did something like that earlier last year, but I think that'll be good. So listen, don't y'all forget, we have a master class coming up, Boss Chicks Die Alone, coming up on April the 21st, which is about 10 days away. And it's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. The tickets for that is $47. We'll go ahead and drop the link in on that so that you can get the tickets for that. Let's see if I can find a link really quickly. If you have not already done so, make sure that you go over to our YouTube page, subscribe to our YouTube page. Make sure that you are liking that page, hitting the red bell so that you can go ahead and get any of the videos that we are dropping on our pages. Make sure that you subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages of Vaun the Love Alchemist over at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Coach Michelamonè on all social media platforms. You can find us. Make sure that you're tapping into us and get with us so that you can stay connected to us. We love it. Trying to find this.
Do us a favor too while y'all in here before you leave. Hit that like button.
Yes, please do.
Whichever page you're on, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Coach Michela's page, or whether you're on my page, do us a favor and hit that like button for us. And if you would be so kind as to share this video, we would greatly appreciate that too.
Yes, please do. Please do. We're trying to reach as many people as we possibly can, and we do that with your help. We can't do that alone. We need you to help us do that. So we love you, and you want to close us out, brother? Oh, wait a minute. There was one more thing I wanted to say, and I just lost it. Yeah, I lost it.
No worries, fam. I'm sure to come back to you. We'll do it next week. Man, this was good. Look, family, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And for that, we are eternally thankful. We love y'all. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.